Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. So today we'll be dealing with one of the important topics, threats due to unplanned urbanization. So why this has come to the limelight? Let us look at that. So flooding in the urban areas have become more and more frequent in India, particularly in the recent times. So have you ever thought why this has become like that? The frequency has increased. It's because of prioritizing the importance of economic gains more than anything else. Frequent examples could be taken, such as the recent Delhi floods and the Chennai floods of 2015. These could be taken as examples. So, what is urban flooding? We have to know that, right? So, let's get into that. So it is inundation of land. Actually, it's nothing but inundation is nothing but flooding of land actually. So flooding of land over a constructed area, particularly in the areas where it is densely populated. So that causes the urban flooding. So what happens and why it happens is it's usually caused by heavy rainfall which challenges the drainage capacity of the particular city or area. So, because the drainage is not properly maintained, the flooding occurs very quickly and it damages everything. So, let's get into the causes of urban flooding actually. The climate change is the first factor everyone gets in mind when we speak of the flooding or any natural disaster it be. Because as the climate change starts, the weather patterns become unpredictable, bringing in more intensive and more frequent hurricanes, cyclones, everything, etc. So, this has made it a major cause for urban flooding. So, what will be the next one? The urban unplanned growth. So, in the ancient times, or even medieval, or even in the modern age, particularly in the modern age, I would say, the unplanned urban growth due to rapid population growth has forced us to build buildings wherever we want, because of which the flow of water gets logged or stopped and eventually the flooding rises. So encroachments by humans on flood channels. So as I said, we build buildings on the way of water, so eventually the flooding increases. And the waste disposal issues. So in a particular city, when the wastes are not disposed properly, so what happens is uh, water does not flow freely from the heavy flooding area to low lying areas. So because of that, what happens is a lot of water gets stagnant or moves very slowly in a particular area. So because of which the waste is not disposed properly. Coming on to the next, actually, the challenges faced by urban areas due to flooding. So, as we all know, the first point will definitely be damage to the infrastructure. When the water affects the buildings, hits the building, and eventually, when more and more water stays over a particular area, the buildings start to get weak. It affects the infrastructure of that particular city or area. Next one comes with the transport disruption. Okay, so when water is stagnated or doesn't flow properly in a particular area, the transport between the areas gets disrupted because water does not flow properly. Health issues, like when the more water is stagnated in a particular area, the more and more problems will arise for health too. Particularly the waterborne diseases such as cholera, dengue might start to occur. Food, water, and energy security. So what happens is when the water is locked around the area, so we get, we do not get a proper access to the basic communities, which brings in the food security, water security, and energy security to the least. So increase in social inequality. So usually flooding disrupts all the people, but in particular it affects the people who are in low lying areas, particularly in the slum areas. So what happens is, because of these things, the social inequality between the richer people and the poor people increases, so making it a much worse thing. So what have we missed so far in the urban planning? So, India in particular, in the recent past, we have always reacted to any natural disaster rather than being proactive to the natural disaster. So, particular only after the disaster has happened, we have reacted. So, that is one major fact which we have keep on neglecting. The next one is the misusing the funds. So whenever the funds are allocated for the disaster management, and if it's used for some other thing else which is not needed for the moment, again we misuse the funds. So neglecting of the water body mapping. So water body mapping has been not done in the recent past, because of which a proper planned construction of a city has not at all happened. Since the water body mapping has not taken place, buildings have been constructed everywhere, which eventually affected the flow channels and causes the flood mapping. So what we can do, um, so we have to plan particularly around the cities to rejuvenate the water bodies, and which will help not only to take more water into the channels or into the water bodies during the floods, but at the same time it tackles our water issues like drinking water issues, um, for domestic purpose issues. Those things could also be tackled when we rejuvenate the water bodies. Investing in the warning system. So this plays a major role actually. So when we are ready with, when a warning is given, we would be like, let's come on, let's do it, let's tackle this thing. But instead, if we are not ready, we are going to suffer a lot at the later stages after the disasters occurred. And yes, a city must have a proper drainage plan which makes sure that it does not affect the flow of water in cities. So these things must be really considered, and the city and the water in the cities could flow at ease. So hope you guys understood the today's concept, the threats due to the urbanization. Let's come back for another topic tomorrow. Thank you guys. Keep supporting and subscribe the channel. Thank you. Bye.